Ladies and gentlemen, welcome very much to the Achievers Online University course, The Power of the Present Moment. I'm happy to present your teacher, Sanjeev Kumar, spiritual lecturer, owner of CanadianSpiritualCenter.com, and the author of the most amazing book, The Power of Present Moment. Sanjeev, I am very happy to have you here with us. I welcome you warmly, and I'm happy that you're here with us today.
Thanks. I am also very happy and blessed with your presence too.
Sanjeev, I have been asked by many students, yeah, David, you tell about the power of the present moment, but we don't really exactly know what that is. So, can you please begin your lecture today, Sanjeev, by tell us what is the present moment? And best of all, be so kind and give us a few examples, please.
It is a moment of total presence of a being right now, here. It means you need to be physically present, psychologically present, mentally present, emotionally present by whatsoever ways, which is beyond thoughts, words, action. Just for the example, if I say that I deliver my talk inside the class to the students, I am totally present over there, physically, mentally, psychologically, by whatsoever ways. And the students need to be present physically, mentally, psychologically, or by whatsoever ways. Then we can enjoy with the beautiful moment, we can celebrate with the beautiful talk which flow through me, and that could be beneficial for a student as well as me. What does it mean? It means we don't have to go into the past, we don't have to go into the future, just live in the moment with mindfulness, awareness. Whenever I say that the sun is shining, it is always in present continuous tense because it keep on shining. There is no space between the words. But whenever I say, what a beautiful sunshine it was yesterday, it means this moment has already gone. So forget about that. You just need to enjoy with the sunshine. The same thing happen whenever flower open up and it radiate into the fragrance. We can feel the fragrance, we can experience, we can observe, we can feel what a beautiful fragrance. So this is called present moment. Just for the example, if I drive my car, I should focus on driving my car. I should not focus on driving my car by talking to somebody else with the help of mobile phone. If I do like that, it means I'm trying to go into the past or future. because whenever I talk to anybody, it means I'm not focused into my driving skill, and ultimately what will happen, there may be some chances of accident or some mishappening might take place. Just for the example, whenever we prepare a rice inside pressure cooker, what we do, we just clean the rice, put the water, and we use our hand. But remember one thing, the more we present mindfully with awareness, the beautiful taste of the rice, because we are putting awareness into each and every moment of preparation of rice. Just take another example. Whenever we eat apple, we keep on biting so many, but it doesn't make sense when we are not focused, aware in biting of an apple. But the more we aware, the more we living in the present moment, we can enjoy with the beautiful taste of apple. Just for the example, suppose if I am talking with my students, if I am not aware, not mindful, I would speak what I don't have to speak. So ultimately, it would affect my productivity level. So these are the example of the present movement. But one example I am going to present, it is one of the beautiful example. You must have known about the Buddha, what had happened when he gone for meditation, for enlightenment. He was just lost in the delusion. He was attacked by the lords of desire, but it was not a lord of desire, but it was his own destructive capacity, because thoughts make you who you are. And while doing meditation, what happened, that he was attacked by the lord of desire and demon, which whose name was Mara. So later on realized that all kinds of distraction, illusion, delusions are created by his own destructive capacity, or by thought. Basically, thoughts exist. But later on, what happened to Buddha? He just touched the ground with his finger, and he said, "There is nothing called Lord of Desire. There is nothing called demon or devil. It is just a delusion." So as soon as he touched the ground, he realized that earth exists into the present moment. The demon, the devil, all kinds of destructive, all kinds of illusion doesn't exist, because again there are 64,000 thoughts comes into our mind. But whenever we become watchful, aware, and witnessing of whatsoever is happening, it is called present movement. So the Buddha said that the earth exists, so earth is present into this movement. So we should think for the earth, not for the delusion. Yeah.
That sounds extremely powerful. So, when I understand you right, when I am drinking this water, present moment actually is that I right now feel the cup in my hands, that I
Mm-hmm.
feel the wonderful comfy chair that I'm sitting on, that I am
Mm-hmm.
looking at you, seeing how centered and how relaxed you are breathing and radiating, and feeling the water only as long on my tongue, as long I have it in my mouth until I swallow and know that it's already presently on the way to refresh my body. So,
Yes.
the present moment is a place of power, is a focus point of attraction where I feel balanced, centered, and when I think of the questions that the students ask, Sanjeev, um, is the power of the present moment also a help to discover and to connect with the power of creation?
Yes. Yeah. Can you repeat the question?
I say, do you think that the power of the present moment can help us for discovery and connection with the power of creation?
Yes. Present moment is called the moment of discovery, invention, creation, divine. What a beautiful words. Remember, Newton has discovered the gravitational force by just noticing, observing of an apple falling from the trees. There must have been millions of the people who would have seen the falling of apple from the trees, but none of them able to discover and notice it. So he didn't do any experiment, he just remained in the present moment and just noticing that the apple is falling from the top to the ground. So there must be some gravitational force. So the same thing has happened with the Thomas Edison. He discovered tungsten bulb. So he tried many times in order for the discovery, but nothing has happened. But he has gone for several trial and error methods. So all kinds of trial and error methods move into the past. So the in present moment, he just discovered the tungsten bulb. So what a beautiful movement. But present exists because of the past. See how I am connecting present moment with the past. If he had not tried many more times, he would not have discovered. But ultimately, the discovery invention happened into this moment. And as far as we are talking about how the power of creation is connecting with all kinds of creativity, which is really beautiful. Creativity comes from creation, and the creator is connected with the creation. Each and every human being is a creator of his own journey, but we are lost into the delusion or illusion that we are living superficially. We are unable to discover the power of creation, which is present at the center of being. Creativity is the byproduct of silence, stillness. But we have created so much turmoil, so much chaos, so much noises that we are unable to discover at the center of being. And our whole life has become like that. We keep on living on the circumference. But the nature, the more you connect with the nature, the more you discover with the help of power of creation. That's why when you get connected with the ocean, water, river, trees, and all kinds of natural things, you will see that your vibration has gone up, your energy level has gone up, because you are living with awareness, mindfulness. You have already dissolved your mind into no mind, because mind is the problem, mind is the chattering, mind creates all kinds of manipulating nuisance activity. But the more you remain watchfulness by living nearby the ocean, water, rocks, or whatsoever nature has given in abundance, you will see that your life has become bliss, your life has become joy, and you will try to discover your hidden potential. And how can you discover your hidden potential? It is always deep connection with the creativity, and creativity is directly connected with the power of creation, and the creator is already present within us. So that's why there are lots of scientists who would have done lots of discovery on the bank of ocean. They don't live in the big cities, but they just live alone. They know, they try to realize the power of creation. They try to realize who they are. And once they realize who they are, they can discover many of the wonders.
Sanjeev, that reminds me of a walk that I experienced in the morning where I was reminded of your book because my youngest son, Doi Doi, was simply playing with his toy cars. And
Okay.
when I watch children
Yeah.
seem to be completely in the present moment and simply seem to be completely focused. So I was experiencing that he is in that moment completely connected to the car, completely connected to the moment. Every boundary of time has vanished and he is completely joyous and completely wonderful in the moment playing with the car. So I thought you can learn very much from your children and
Yes.
looking at children, you say in your book, children live more mindful than adults.
Yes.
And what I saw when Doido was playing with his toy cars, I thought Sanjeev is so right. How would an adult have treated that situation? Like thinking, what will I experience at work? What problems will I have? What will come in the future? What has happened in the past? And the child just says, I'm not interested in the past. I have no motivation to think about the future. I am just enjoying the car. I am just enjoying the moment and I am just completely playing right now. So, what would you say that children live more mindful than we adults and that children live more in the present moment? Would you agree to that?
Yes, you are right. That I have mentioned in my book about children that they are more mindful and living with awareness, and they are living more in present moment than adults. As you said, that you keep on observing your son, how the way he used to play with the toys. So, whatsoever activity children do, when you observe it closely, you will see that it would affect you very much, and you can start living more into the present moment. Because children mind is called the innocent mind, their mind is called the full of awareness. They live from moment to moment. They don't live with the mind, but they live with the awareness. Just for the example, when they keep on they keep on laughing. Whenever they keep on play, they keep on playing. So whatsoever activity they do, they are completely focused, totally aware. They are not worried for their mom, for their relatives, for their sister, brother, whosoever they are. They are more present into this moment. Remember, whenever they sleep at night, when you become watchful, you will see that they don't think for the past, they don't think for the future. They go to the bed and sleep immediately
Yeah,
without any
exactly.
thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
What happened to us when we go to the bed? We keep on thinking about tomorrow, about the job, about the work, about the girlfriend, about this and that. We would be thinking about the past, that somebody has deceived me, somebody has cheated me. So it has affected our present moment while sleeping. But when you see the kids, the children, they sleep immediately because their mind is totally fresh, pure. When they become born, they don't have any ego. You must have noticed because they are fully pure in the nature, vibrant, fresh. But as soon as they came in contact with the people, with the family members, with the relatives, gradually they keep on developing ego. But I share little bit of ego is good. But here is the point, when you started condition or program his mind into different circumstances, maybe in a good environment, definitely they would become more mindful when they become old. But at this point of time, you will see that the children are much more happy, they are much more focused and enjoy blissfulness and completely present into this moment.
Yeah, I completely can agree on that. And when I observed him playing with the toy cars, I immediately
Yeah.
felt how wonderful the air was where I was standing, how solid the ground supports me, how amazingly my wife was looking and smiling, how wonderfully I felt like being alive and seeing a kid, a child in the present moment simply connects to the power of love, the power of now, the power of inspiration, and the power of bliss. So, children also can teach us very much about feeling balanced and feeling centered and just quitting worrying about the past and worrying about the future. So, that's absolutely something I can agree on. And you mentioned, Sanjeev, the word ego. Many students might not quite completely be aware of what is meant by ego and just consider that a word that they can't fill so much with energy or knowledge or enlightenment or wisdom. Can you please tell us what is ego and how is ego connected with the present moment, please?
Whenever we are talking about ego, first of all, we should know that we are talking about much more ego. Why? If I don't have ego little bit, I cannot exist into this world. But too much ego is always bad, first of all. Ego is a negative emotion. It is a lower level of consciousness. It is darkness, hell. It is fear, desire, anger, jealousy, hatred, feeling of superiority, feeling of inferiority, feeling of dominant, feeling of powerful, feeling of this and that is called ego. The whole world is fighting with one another because there is a ego fight.
Mhm.
Some country want to attack on another country because there is ego comes in between them, and the whole population is getting affected, the whole society is getting affected. Ego always distract us from the present moment. Ego is just identification of your mind, because what I said, too much ego is always bad, but little bit of ego is good. Just for the example, self image, self respect, everybody should have. Up to that limit it is wonderful, but when we go beyond that, the whole destruction, the whole problems will start. Just for the example, one doctor in Canada, they came to my place and he was talking to me that he has done lots of research in orthopedic surgery, he has gone to different countries. So what he did, he collected too much ego, though he is a competent doctor, but his ego is forcing him not to do good work for the client because his problem that he doesn't take care of the patient good, nicely, he doesn't want to talk to the patient, he doesn't deal with the patients in beautiful way, he tried to exploit the patient, he tried to misbehave with the patient. So as soon as he came towards me, I said, what is the problem with you? He said that I feel superior and the patient and the clients are inferior. I said it is not like that. The problem here is that he collected so much ego by reading borrowed knowledge. He has acquired good degree, good certification. Up to that, it is okay. But you cannot discriminate the people, you cannot exploit the people, you cannot misbehave with the people. So I try to teach him about mindfulness, awareness, meditation, loving forgiveness. Then he keep on dissolving his ego, because ego is a collection of false wisdom. It is just a collection of false knowledge. Remember what has happened to the Buddha when he read thousands of the books for enlightenment. Nothing has happened, because all the books has given false knowledge, and it has become obstacles on the path of enlightenment. So as soon as he gone for the meditation and he got enlightenment, what does it mean? It means the more you read, the more you connecting ego, because the real nature of everything is exists at the center of being. But when you are living superficially, you try to collecting so much ego, and ego distract us. Ego create all kinds of nuisance activity. It doesn't teach us who we are. It never tried to reach to the center of being, because mind is always chattering, mind is always wandering, and ego is directly connected with the mind. So the best way to dissolve ego is to just live from the moment to moment and do meditation and developing loving forgiveness, kindness.
So Sanjeev, when I refer to the example you just gave, would you also say that too much ego uh, separates us from being humble?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a question from a student very closely related to that.
Okay.
The question was, you know, have you yourself ever suffered in your life by living on the past?
Yeah, it's a wonderful question for me. Uh, yes, I can say yes. Because the power of present moment book I have written, because I had suffered greatly in my life when I was a child. Whenever teacher used to teach me in the class, I never used to be there psychologically, mentally, but I was just there physically. I used to think about the football, about the entertainment movies.
Yeah.
I used to think about other kinds of game, movies, when teacher used to teach me. So what happened? It affected my performance very bad. It affected my result very poor. I met with many failures, many setbacks, and later on I realized that the whole setbacks and failure was because I was not living in the present moment, but I was living in the past or future when the teacher used to teach me about all the subjects. So it was my bitter experience.
I can closely relate to that. There was a moment where I was sitting in the physics class and I thought about the adventure movie that I watched the other evening, and suddenly I heard the teacher calling my name. And it was as if someone dragged me into the cold water, and I didn't even understand what he wanted from me. I didn't even understand his question, and it earned me a bad grade at that day. So that was a classical example that I was not living in the present moment by thinking about the movie I watched the other day. And if I had known what you teach, and if I already had known the power of the present moment, I would have watched the teacher closely, hearing his question and concentrating on the topic he was teaching. And that would have enabled me to answer the question he was asking me. So I can relate to that. Past just distracts us from the present moment. Past separates us from the power of creation. Past separates us from the inner balance of being closely connected to inspiration and the wisdom of the here and now. And there was a couple who came in therapy, and the wife said, whenever I have dinner with my husband, I have the feeling that we are completely separated, that he is always thinking about his work, that he doesn't notice me when I ask him a question, and when I so want to enjoy dinner with him because it tastes so wonderfully, and I cooked it with so much love. Then he just said, yeah, I had so much trouble at work. And when the husband heard about her complaining and her concerns, he just said, well, we have been so much in love a year ago. I don't know what her problems are. So, living out of the past, living influenced by the past, simply can create a lot of suffering.
Yes, exactly.
And, we have one question closely related from a student to that, because there's a young woman asking, please ask our teacher Sanjeev, for those people who are currently facing problems as consequences of actions in the past, how can these people experience the power of the present moment?
Yes, it is a very common question that whatever the consequences of past that has happened before, how can we get rid of it by living into this moment?
Yes.
So that is the same question. So the best way to become mindful, living with awareness, living from moment to moment, meditation, and just focus on the awareness of the breath. Then you can live more in the present moment.
Like an example, how would you advise a person who simply had made the mistake to hit a child, for example? And whenever the mother sees the child the next day, she's thinking how the child has closed the heart a little bit, has become shy, has become fearful about the mother, and she is trapped in guilt and thinks about how she hit the child yesterday and loads a lot of guilt upon herself. And so what would you advise to her when she says, how can I experience the present moment with my child when I just think about that I hit it yesterday, and feel right now that the child has closed his heart a little bit in front of me?
So the past is made of memory, flashbacks, guilt, fear, all kinds of negative emotions. So that the young girl why there is a point to go into the past, because whatever has happened into the past she must forget it. It is just a memory. She should try to disconnect it, because the past is always taking control of the present moment. But the present moment is only the divine moment. Present moment is only exist into this world. But there is a question that we have to go into the past only when we keep in our memory, when we keep in past or whatsoever that has happened. So how to get disconnected with the past? As I said, just have a deep connection with the nature, with the water, with the rocks, with the mountains, with all kinds of you can call it with the trees, with the flower, with all kinds of natural things. And once you go and have a deep connection with this, you will see that gradually you will keep on disconnecting with the past. The second thing, just put focus on the awareness of the breath, because breath is the life force energy. Breath bring you everything into your life. Breath connect you to the universe source of energy. Breath can make you who you are, because only the breath exists into the present moment. So the guilt, the fear, the all kinds of negative emotion which has happened into the past, let it move into own dimension. But it is better to live here right now. Just enjoy here. Just have a blissful, just have a beautiful enjoyment, celebration, and full of positivity, light. Then she can disconnect with the past and live here right now.
That's powerful advice, Sanjeev. And so, understanding what you say, one overall roof would be the magical word detachment. So, as I
Yes.
understand you right, simply
Yes.
disconnecting from memories is
Yes.
one helpful tool to enjoy the power of the present moment. And as much as you balance, center, and focus in the present moment, the past will automatically also lose the power over the present moment, and the memories of the past will simply dissolve, disconnect, and help the people to stay focused, connected to joy again with detachment.
Yes.
Wonderful. That reminds me that many people collect so much knowledge that it's very hard for them to connect to wisdom, to enlightenment, and to insight, because the brain is overloaded. Because they are just only cognitive people and lecturing without experiencing. And there was the one person who asked a very wise guru, Master, can you tell me what is love? And he expected just an explanation that his brain could process. And the
Yeah.
master simply was breathing deeply and relaxed and said, "You will know what love is when you have become loved, then you will know." Meaning, when you experience the state of being what you want to know, then your question is answered. Like, how can I be in the present moment? A question for the brain. And just be in the present moment, the answer for your being.
Yes, from your heart. Yeah.
So uh, maybe it's good at that point of our lecture to share a little bit enlightenment and about wisdom versus knowledge. That's something in your book that you also mention about wisdom versus knowledge. Can you share a little bit about that with us, please?
Yes. The wisdom is present at the center of being. Wisdom is just based on your observation, experiencing, watchfulness, opening of yourself. It is just an act of looking within. The wisdom happen within you. You cannot acquire wisdom from the book, from the scripture, for by reading too many theses, by doing too many research work. That is a knowledge, little bit knowledge is good, but you cannot acquire the wisdom. Wisdom is always come from deep connection with the nature. Wisdom is always happen with the help of meditation. Wisdom always happen by living from moment to moment. Wisdom has happened only by developing loving, forgiveness, kindness, compassion, gratitude with no ego. The people who are wisdom, they don't read too many books. The people who read too many books, who collect the knowledge which is always borrowed knowledge. And the people who become borrowed knowledge, they become doctors, engineers, but they cannot be a man of creator. Their whole life has become like that. Because what I said, a creator can be only come through the power of deep connection with the nature, with the water, with the rocks, with the ocean. Like the way scientists discovered, the Thomas Edison had discovered, there are most of the people in the world who had discovered so many inventions. They are the man of real wisdom. But you would have seen there are lots of the people who are cramming the words, who had been reading, try to know the things, but they cannot know. Their whole life has become like that, and they keep on collecting knowledge, and it is called false knowledge because all the ego is connected with that, all the mind is connected with that, and it is just a garbage. It is just a full of negativity, darkness, because it cannot transform you, it cannot awaken you, it cannot change you from inside. The only the wisdom people can be changed themselves from inside, because wisdom is just try to open up yourself. Wisdom is just try to know whatsoever is happening into this moment. Universe is a great library. The way you get connected with the universe through the power of breath, you will try to understand, realize, experience, explore everything. You don't need to read any books, you don't need to read any scriptures. The foolish people try to collect too much garbage knowledge from the book, from the scripture, and their whole life has become like that, and they cannot be discoverer, explorer, because they have lost into the delusion. What I said that a doctors, it is good for the doctors, engineers, I never discourage them. But my question is that why can't we become a power of creator by which we can become a man of wisdom? So the man of wisdom is only possible by look within us, by surrender to the higher power, by deep connection with the nature, by just unfolding yourself. Yeah.
Wonderful, because every surgeon who is successful and who devotes his life to the health and the restoration of a patient's health can only do that out of the power of the present moment.
Yes.
So, and that is also closely connected to wisdom again.
Yes.
So, one of the most useful tips is nature is all around us. Nature connects us to the present moment. Nature is full of wisdom. And the true wisdom is always present and is always accessible for each of us, no matter in what country we live in, no matter how old we are, and no matter what.
Yes.
Um, what I have been told by students watching our recordings, feeling the energy that we vibrate with our wonderful calm and centered connection with each other, being in the present moment provides very much energy to bring silence and to bring calmness of mind. And I remember that you mentioned in your book that yourself, that present moment can help to bring silence and calm of mind. Can you relate to that?
Yes. The real knowledge always come through the silence or stillness or calming of your mind. We need to understand that mind is chattering, wandering, manipulating. It is a distractions. So when we live with no mind, a true silence, stillness comes out. The water is silent, the nature is silent, the great discoverer are silent. The more you silent, the more creative you are, the more powerful you are. Once you settle your mind into the silence, you will see that a great force, a great power has arisen, and that power can create miracles, wonder, it can create great transformation and deep changes within us. But a silence is always at the center of being. The more you go for the meditation, you will see that you are living from moment to moment and you are very deep connection with the nature. When you get deep connection with the nature, automatically there is a silence, a stillness, which is present at the center of being, which can discover who you are.
Absolutely. Like there is a music symphony entitled Silence is the Answer. Like
Yes,
silence simply is a state of experiencing with calmness and with quiet mind what wisdom wants to reveal to you without the mind chattering.
yes,
So maybe let's remain silent for a minute that the students can share this wonderful moment with us. That
yes.
we simply share a minute of silence and everybody enjoying your course and your lectures can be silent with us also for a minute to experience that wonderful energy of the present moment right now. So everybody, feel invited to just join us in a minute of silence right now and connect with your wisdom and center to balance as Sanjeev and I remain silent for a minute now. And as we can take the full awareness of the joy and the power of the present moment to continue to be in the present here. You
Yes,
all can come back in your own rate and speed to the lecture where, Sanjeev, I have another student question for you.
Yeah.
And the student question is, what is your goal in teaching other people the power of the present moment?
My goal is the first goal to live here right now than living in the past. The second goal to be fully aware and do meditation. And the third goal is to just focus on the awareness of the breath. That is my three goals.
Wonderful. Sanjeev, I want to tell our viewers and our students that they can visit your website www.canadianspiritualcenter.com.
Yeah.
This is where everybody can find your website for inspiration, where you also can be contacted to be booked or to just ask you for lectures or other events that you are planning. And I can tell
Okay.
from myself that Sanjeev's website is a continuous inspiration, and I seriously recommend to visit that website frequently.
Okay.
Sanjeev, our next module will be about meditation. So
Okay.
that will be something that the students can very much look forward to. I want to
Okay.
thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for a wonderful shared time and an amazing lecture. I
Yeah. Thanks.
had very much joy out of the present moment. I am completely convinced that our students and everybody who has enrolled in the course will experience very much inspiration and wonderful energy out of the present moment. And I say Namaste, Sanjeev, and have a wonderful
Namaste.
time until we enjoy the next lecture together.
Thanks.
Thank you very
Have a
much
nice day.
and goodbye, my friend.
Yeah. Bye bye. Yeah. Thanks.